How is it going, you lovely lot? Welcome back to Tokyo Rising. We're back with a transfer special. The season starts in 3 weeks. Our key player has broken his back. My star striker wants to leave and is an alcoholic. Things were awful when I last saw you. Well, I hope they're going to be better today. Let's run the intro and get straight into things. Yes, folks, how is it going? And welcome back. It's Tokyo Rising. It's episode number 52. It's a transfer special. Before we get into things, a couple of little bits of housekeeping. First and foremost, apologies there wasn't a video on Friday. I did leave a community post over on the community tab on YouTube, as well as mentioning it on Twitter. I was away at Gamescom, as some of you may have known. My flight was delayed getting back, which kind of played havoc with things. And the other thing that I need to give you a little bit of a heads up about, and I hope this isn't going to result in you turning off the video, so please hear me out here. But there is going to be a bit of a gap until the next episode following this one. The reason for that is I'm competing in the Football Manager World Cup. Now, there's more details going to drop in a video tomorrow talking about it in infinitely more detail, but essentially, there isn't going to be videos this week, and there probably won't be videos until midway through next week. That is because I'm playing Football Manager in a rather big tournament, the biggest Football Manager tournament ever, and I will be streaming over 30 hours of Football Manager content. So, if you've missed the live streams, and when it comes to Football Manager streams, or maybe you've never watched the streams before because you're not interested in the F1 Manager stuff, this is a very good week to check things out. I will be live on Twitch. There's a link down in the description. Like I said, appreciate it's a bit frustrating that the series is going on a bit of a gap, but it is for a pretty blooming good reason. There's $100,000 on the line. I want to do well. But before I go away, I want to make sure my ducks are in order. I was saying, is it ducks in order? Is that the expression? I don't want to go on holiday and leave this team not sorted. And let's be honest, there is a fair amount of sorting that needs to be done. We have been rocking this 4-2-4, and to be fair, I'm pretty happy with it, kind of on the whole. Like, if the season was to start tomorrow with our current squad, maybe it would work, minus the fact that Ono is away. Well, I say he's away. His contract's up, isn't it? He's leaving at the end of his loan. Manga's broken his back. Tachibana's injured, and Honda, like I said, is currently absent without leave because he just likes going to nightclubs. The honest answer here is I need to strengthen the team. I have some money to strengthen the team. The challenge is really finding the talent out there that is going to improve us. Now, just as a little bit of a refresher, last episode we made a load of sales. Almost £500,000 worth of sales, I might add, but no signings made in that have joined us yet. However, in and amongst the sea of signings in and out, we have got one player who I think is going to be very, very good. And that man, of course, is the new signing, Yamazaki. He is going to join the team. I think he is going to come in and play as the advanced playmaker, or rather, roaming playmaker in the team. But we still need to strengthen things. We still need to change things up. And I think that's going to start by signing a left back and signing a new defensive mid. If I can find them, because I couldn't find them last time. Now, I have got recruitment's focuses set to both. Of course, Chan Ray here is a player who's transfer listed, but doesn't actually want to join me. And Motoyama is not awful. He's not great, is he? As for defensive mid, so my scouts have recommended some players. Fukuda here is apparently the best of the bunch. He's not a bad player at 20 years old, the regen, but he is not J1 quality. And looking through the other defensive midfielders that have been scouted, I'm feeling a little underwhelmed, to the point where I'm wondering, do I need to kind of change up the system? Like, someone like this guy's not bad. Is it a case of, instead of having a defensive mid that's a defensive mid, do I move maybe the playmaker deeper and then play with like a regular centre mid or something? I'm not really sure. I think the main aim to kick off things today is going to be to get to the 1st of February, because the 1st of February is the season tick over date where players' contracts are released, players are joining us. In fact, we've got a load of players scheduled to join us. Ono, the left back, officially leaves us, and I'm hoping there's going to be a few more players available. That's certainly the hope. Given the fact the season starts on the 16th of February, getting to the 1st of February before I try and solve this problem does inherently feel like a little bit of a gamble, as I have 5 days between now and then, but I feel like it's my best route to find players. I mean, the big issue at the moment is I'm a team that has very, very low reputation. Our reputation is that of kind of a J2 team. There are actually not that many players worth the kind of money that I have to spend on players. And those players that I could potentially sign for £1 million+ if I wanted to, just have outrageous wage demands. Our current highest earner is on £3,000 a week. I can't really afford to exceed that given the current financial structure at the club. Okay, we kind of knew this was going to happen last episode. Asari, we had a big offer that we accepted of over £500,000. £500,000 for him from Espels. He has now just turned down Espels. I'm actually going to transfer list him for £500,000 and see if I can get him sold. I feel like at best this year he would just be a depth option. When we compare him with the new signing we've got coming in Yamazaki, you quickly realise Asaru's just not good enough for the team anymore. I did scout a load of young players that were just available to be scouted. As you can see from the actual current ability column here on all these players, none of these players are actually any good. What a waste of time. Gambara Sakura made an offer for Asaru. It is potentially worth £500,000. The initial cost would be £300,000 for them. There's a load of installments involved in things here. I'm not sure I'm going to get him to hit all of those goals. But I do feel like £300,000 for a player who probably doesn't even make the bench this coming year, and that we signed on a free transfer, and wasn't very good in J2, is probably just a sensible deal. So I'm going to take the money, and I hope I'm not going to regret it. I wish he'd gone for more money to Espels, but £350,000 is still pretty blooming good. There are a load of young players that I've kind of mass signed. Oh, some more offers for Asaru. There's some bigger offers here than I think the one we've just accepted. Yeah, the offer I accepted from Gamba is worth only about £300,000 up front. We've got bids of over £400,000 guaranteed. I think some of the clauses as well involved international games, which I don't think Asaru's going to hit. With that in mind, I'm going to try and negotiate. Can I get £500,000 for it? I'll tell you what, if I can get £500,000 for him, I'm all for that. I'm going to issue an ultimatum. Not too bothered about a sell-on, because with respect to Asaru, I don't necessarily think he's going to be this superstar player who has big sell-on. I feel like if I can get £500,000 for him, that would be immense. One player who we were trying to sign last episode was Deguchi. Sadly, he has turned down the option to join us. Did kind of suspect this might be the case. Missed out on him, but he probably wouldn't have been a candidate for the first team this year anyway. Okay, the 1st of February is ticked over. I am about to be greeted with a wall of new arrivals. Hopefully, there's a few good players that I didn't quite realise were as good as they are. Based on the top row here, I think we are just looking at more kind of potential for the future rather than first team players. I mean, Matsuyama here, not a bad player. At 18 years old, could be very good eventually. Definitely not good enough right now. I actually think I'm going to train him as an inside forward. Watanabe is actually rated reasonably highly by our staff. He's either-footed, 18 years old, only turned 18 recently with some decent potential. You know what? For a free transfer, I don't hate him. Could be a useful, versatile player down the line with a bit of an improvement. I think Fuji falls into a similar mould as well. Good player for the future, 18 years old, joining us on a freebie. Low-risk transfer, hopefully I can just sell him on for some money one day. Or alternatively, he breaks into the first team. But to be honest, I think with most of these players, we are basically looking at them to fulfill their potential and maybe be good. I say that. Saito here is perhaps the best of the bunch. 18 years old, signed from a Yomori Yamada high school, because of course he is. We've signed so many players from this high school team. I actually think this guy's quite a good player. He's the kind of man who's going to train with the first team, but in reality, he will probably be playing for the B team throughout this year. But yeah, I want him to train with the big boys. In fact, of all the players we've signed, Yamazaki is comfortably the best. This guy is absolutely immense. To pick this guy up as a free transfer is a big deal. I think he's going to come into the team right away. Whether or not I'm going to play him as a roaming playmaker, I've still not decided. But we'll just move Lucas de Ferreira to the bench for now. That is something that might change just given how I want to use my foreign player slots. I mean, right now, if everyone was fit, this would be the starting team for the new year. Defensive mid and left back are the options that I need. If I wasn't to sign a defensive mid, I would have a bit of a decision to make between Sakaki and Denise. I mean, Denise is definitely better with the ball at his feet and kind of from a technical point of view, but the ability defensively of Sakaki and the mentals kind of makes me lean on the 19-year-old as a potential option that I could just play at defensive mid. He is one of our higher earners. He is a decent little leader in the team as well. Given the fact, of course, we're now going to be playing in J1, defensively, we're going to need to be tested more. Well, we are going to be tested more. We need to be stronger. I think Sakaki could be a solution to that. Then again, I feel like signing a player probably is the optimal idea. If there is a player out there, I don't really want to sign anyone for the sake of it. I was hoping, given the fact it's now the 1st of February, there'd be a sea of new Japanese free agents throwing themselves at me hoping for a club. Based on the highest rated players my scouts have looked at, there's not many Japanese free agents that are going to be good enough for our team. The last few years, we've kind of been able to live off them. But I think the issue we kind of have now is that whilst there are players out here who are free agents who might be good enough, either their wage demands are going to be too high or they're just not quite going to have the quality needed to play for us. I mean, I'm looking at these players. None of them are bad, but none of them are kind of, oh my God, I have to get them in the team no matter what. I think rather than looking at players with contract status expired, I might even be better off just looking at some of the players that have the best scout ratings already. We looked at Addons last episode. He's a Ghanaian international who's not bad, but I have got just a few too many question marks over him. I feel like the star rating's a bit generous, put it that way. If I compare him right now with Sakaki, I mean, I don't think Sakaki is that much worse, and yet there is a 1.5 star difference apparently between them. There's a couple of Ivory Coast players. Toure here is not bad, but I don't really need another striker. I need a left back and a defensive mid. I mean, this guy here, Dalacorte, 23 years old, Brazilian, scouted already. He looks like he's pretty solid. He's also left-footed, so he could play as a left back. I don't know if I necessarily want him to be the left back, but as a defensive mid, could he maybe do a job? I mean, compared to Sakaki, pretty similar defensively, better speed, bit better technicals. How does he compare with Vinicius Diniz? That's perhaps the man I should compare him with more. He might well be an upgrade. The issue I'm going to have is he is going to cost me money. He's potentially going to want over £3,000. I feel like we make a bid and just see what's what, but he does seem reasonable. I'll offer £100,000. In fact, I could offer him £100,000. I don't need to do that. He's got a minimum release clause of 94k. I can pay that. I feel like Dalacorte could be a useful little squad player. Given the fact he can play left back and defensive mid, it's kind of almost two birds with one stone. It's kind of like we're hitting two halves of a bird with one stone, because I don't think he's a great starter in either of those areas necessarily. Now, you know what? I say that. With his current physicals and stuff, he's a pretty good defensive mid. I mean, when it comes to left-backs I've got scouted, he is up there as one of the best. There is also Morita here, who's not bad. 20 years old. He's actually loan-listed. I mean, could he be an option at left-back? He's been playing for Sanga. He played a couple of games in J1 for them and got a 6.15 rating last year. That really doesn't wow me. Felipe Vieira is not bad here, but at 30 years old, I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to bring in a player with my foreign quota, I kind of need them to be a younger player who can grow with the team and be a bit of a more long-term option. Torrada here's got potential, but the current ability is just lacking. I feel like I'm in this weird position where, just due to our reputation, there's not that many J1 players available, and those that are J1 quality and available are not Japanese. And given the foreign player rules, that does present a problem. So just as a reminder, the match squad can have no more than 5 foreign players. Right now, in terms of foreign players, we've got Diniz, Freya, Lukmanga, and then we also have Diouf. So I could bring in one more player as a starter, but if Diniz and Freya are going to drop down, foreign players are perhaps an option. I don't want people to think I'm forgetting about Dos Santos as well, who is a young Brazilian F-back we signed last year. He could potentially be an option. We were experimenting with selling him earlier in the window. I think the sad reality for him is he's never going to be quite good enough. Given the fact we signed him for 12k, if I could sell him on for anywhere close to this valuation, I'd be a rather happy bunny. Well, I've tried looking at left-backs. What about defensive midfielders we've got scouted? What is out there outside of Addo? I don't like Addo. There is Lazarizo here, who's 20 years old and Colombian. I don't think he's been correctly assigned a face here. Either that or he's a Colombian of Asian ethnicity, which would be quite the achievement. I would have to update his picture if we sign him. Is he good? He's actually a very, very good centre-back. Could he be the defensive mid option of dreams? That I'm less certain on. I mean, when I compare him to Sakaki, I just feel like I'd rather play Sakaki. Is that controversial? It might be slightly controversial. I'm coming around to the idea of playing Sakaki as my starting defensive mid this year, which seems wild, but there's just not options out there. I guess the other thing I've not really looked at yet is just loans. Is there just really, really good defensive mids out there who I could loan? There's a load of Saudi defensive mids here who have high valuations, apparently. Sadly, none of them are very good. These guys are really not very good, are they? I've tried sorting by world reputation. There's some players here with some outrageous wages. None of them are any good either. I don't even necessarily feel like loans are an option here. I'm looking through the players that are loan listed. I mean, this guy playing for Blaublitz is not bad, but given the fact he's loan listed by a team in J2 and he was relegated from J1 a couple of years ago, for obvious reasons, not that keen on him. Looking at left-backs available for loan, Morita, I looked at before, is the man who's popping up as an option in both areas. And when I compare him to Dalacorte, who I might be able to sign, Dalacorte might just be the option. I mean, Ono is loan listed. Do we just bring Ono back for another year? Is that where we're at right now? Do I really bring Ono back? He's not even that good, is he, at left-back, really? Like, when you compare Delacorte to him, it's a massive upgrade at left-back if I bring in the Brazilian at 23 years old. He might be the one. I just have to hope his wage demands are reasonable. Are they going to be reasonable? Our current highest earner is on £3,000. He wants to be a no-nonsense centre-back. I've got some bad news for him. He's either our left-back or our defensive mid. I've not yet decided. He wants to be the highest earner at the club. He wants a yearly wage rise. I can't give him that. But I'll give him the 3.5 thousand. You know what? I'm getting a little bit desperate. I feel like he ticks enough boxes as an option that can play at centre, defensive mid, or left back. He's kind of just worth a punt at this point. I guess the other nice thing about signing him is if a left back or defensive mid pops up on my radar, he can fill in whichever position I can't find a player in, potentially. Of course, if I don't find a player in either position, we are just screwed. Clubs in Japan release players. I mean, can I actually sign any of these players? I assume not. Yeah, we just don't have the financial muscle to sign players released by other J2 teams. There's some pretty good J2 players out here. Someone like Tiger Hatter would be a great little versatile left-back and right-back option. I can't afford him. He doesn't want to join me. This is just always the case with save games like this, where you climb up the leagues quickly, that your reputation and finances don't really keep up with the club. And as a result, you do just find yourself sometimes hitting a bit of a brick wall when it comes to recruitment, where the kind of players you need just aren't out there, and I kind of feel like I'm at that wall right now. I mean, I keep just clicking on Ono like he's the solution. Honda, by the way, still just skipping training. He's now missed it 5 times since the season ended. This whole relationship thing really is ending ugly with him, isn't it? I want him to stay. He's really good. But if he doesn't never turns up for games, can I keep him? It's going to be hard. The top player odds for J1 just came in. I don't know why I checked this inbox item like I was somewhere gonna feature here. Look at this guy. Seung Woo here, regen, looks absolutely insane for Vissel Kobe. They also have the second best player in Palhiero here, who is, again, absolutely wild for this division. He is on £28,000 on his own. My entire team is currently on £52,000. It's a different world the teams at the top live in. We have got defensive mid scouted and recommended. Amano is one such player. He's a good defensive mid. He's definitely not good enough to start for me, and he's not very defensive. I mean, Taladera here, Australian player, he's not awful, but I don't feel like he's any better than Vinicius Diniz. I was hoping that maybe there was just a slim chance we'd end up with the top young player, kind of having a player in the rankings for this competition. We don't have it. Apparently, Taisha is in the running to be the best young player. This guy's very good, isn't he? 2 caps, 20 years old, Japanese international. How much did they pay for him? Nothing. Yeah, I wish we were in J1 in 2026. He would have been good then, wouldn't he? In previous years, there's just been a load of high school players that were released in Japan that were good enough to step in and fill in for us, and it just doesn't exist, does it, this year? I'm looking through the players that have been released. Players like this guy, Hinakio, very, very good player. I mean, what does he want? Does he even want to join us? He doesn't want to join us. Matsuki here is actually a really good player. I think has some really good potential, actually, in Football Manager. He's injury prone, but he's got crazy important matches and consistency. He's the kind of player who I'd absolutely love to sign, because I think he could actually be a useful centre mid option, albeit he's not the most mobile. But apparently we just don't have the finances to sign him. I don't know why I'm looking through these players. Every time I click on one of these players, I just hurt myself as I see how much they want. The one player who actually wants to talk to me here, Suzuki, is probably going to have outrageous wage demands. In fact, they're not even that bad. But the issue is, he's a striker. And I'll be honest, of all the positions in the team right now, I've agreed to sign him. I don't really need another striker. But the 28-year-old is reasonably good. I say that. He's got 4 J1 League goals in the last 2 years. I'll admit that's not great. I mean, do I even need him? He could play out on the left-hand side, I guess, as an inside forward for us. When I look at our team and I look at our attacking talent, I'm not sure. I mean, could he be the Honda replacement? Maybe that's the angle. I mean, I say the Honda replacement. Honda's throwing a tantrum wanting to leave the club. Currently, no one is interested in him, so I'm not sure what the long-term plan for him is. I mean, maybe some of these other Japanese players are interested, but I'll be honest, the drop-off in quality is pretty quick from the 4-star ability players down to these players a little lower. I mean, Araki here is not bad. I don't need a centre-back. I don't need a centre-back with concrete in his boots either. 9 acceleration, 7 pace. That's a yikes from me. I made that offer for Suzuki, now a load of other teams have made bids. I don't feel like I'm going to be able to sign him. Also, I've had offers for Nanami here, who's a player chilling in the B team who I'd kind of like to cash in on. Some of these offers are quite reasonable. Matsumoto Yamaga have offered a bid that's pretty much a guaranteed 100k. There's a load of clauses here that he might not hit, but Ardija, our former affiliates, have actually made a negotiable bid. I mean, if they pay 250,000 up front, they can have him, but I have a sneaking suspicion. Well, I was going to say they can't afford it. Turns out they can afford it. We signed Nanami start of last year, I think it was, for, well, absolutely nothing. If I can move him on for £200,000, that conveyor belt of talent that we've tried to get going, well, it's going to continue to chug along. This feels like a good offer for us. Bit of a shame the other offers aren't negotiable. So we've potentially got £800,000 in sales currently ongoing at the club. I mean, look, say what you want about my purchasing. I'll be honest, it's been questionable at the very best this year as we hoard a load of young players from high schools. But in terms of sales, we've made some really good money on players we signed for nothing. Okay, look, we've got a transfer done. Dalacorte, £3,500 a week, 94k paid for him. In terms of fee, it's great. I'll be honest, the inconsistency is a bit of a concern. But there's just no other options out there. And I'd rather use up our foreign player spots than leave them unused. Staff like the look of him. J1 potential. I know he's naturally a centre-back. I think for us, at least to start the year, he's probably going to be the left-back option. I don't think it's normal to use 3 of your 5 foreign player slots on your back 4. But it's what my plan is for this year at the moment, because I'll be honest, attackers, they're growing on trees in Japan. We've got Taba, we've got Sasaki, we've got loads of proven goal scorers. It's just the defence where we've had issues, but I mean, it is starting to look a little bit more like a defence. I suppose the issue here is whilst I look at this back 4 and go, that's good, I have to remind myself, 2 of those players aren't here to start the year. Look, Manga, out for still 2 months. Tachibana out for 2 weeks. The season starts in 12 days' time. The other issue I've not really talked about is I have a first team squad right now of 26 players. It's already kind of on the big side. When I look through this squad now, I actually think we have coverage in every single position pretty adequately. I mean, if I was going to sign anyone, I'd probably have to sell someone on to make that deal happen. And I look through the list of players there. I'm not sure how many of these players are even for sale. I say all of that. There are a couple of players like Uchimura here who I have just offered out to clubs. I'm just going to see if there's any interest. Uchimura has never played for our first team. We signed him on a freebie. He's not a bad little player by any means. Question marks over his potential. If I get an offer of, say, £500,000, I'd probably end up taking it. He's not on the bench anyway. I've got other centre-back options out there, and it would free up a slot where maybe it then gives me room to actually buy another player in. Breaking news, everyone. Honda is now happy to stay at the club. Does that mean he's done clubbing? No idea. Also, look, Manga also wants to stay at the club. That's because he's broken his back and Grampus have decided they're not interested in him. Interesting. Sakaguchi, who could have been starting at centre-back, by the way, to start the year, has just got injured in the most recent preseason friendly. Yeah, that is another centre-back out to start the year. The social feed is going to be removed from FM25. I'm going to miss it for stuff like this. Mitsuhashi has to be the first name on the team sheet for this friendly. I love the fact that the fans of our football club love Mitsuhashi as much as I do. That is beautiful. I'd already accepted a 250,000 bid for Nanami. I've now had a bid from Raisel of 300k. I am absolutely going to take that. Also had this offer from Gambro Osaka, who are offering it with loads of installments. I'm going to try and negotiate them upwards here. 350k. 350k it is. We've gone from selling this guy for a 250k to accepting a 350k bid with a sell on. I need to reject those lower offers. I've also had a bid for Ataki, finally. Obviously, we tried to sell this guy to Honda last episode and he turned them down for 100k. This 90k bid, I'm just going to accept. He's chilling in the B team. I want to cash in on him. Let's move the former captain on. He's ruined his relationship with me by throwing a hissy fit when I stripped him of the captaincy. I don't want him here anymore. Okay, final game of preseason against a South Korean club in Jeju. I don't know if it said Jeju or not. We've lost 3-2. Right, our first game of the year away from home against Matsumoto Yamada is 10 days away. I believe now if I go to the tactics screen, it now shows me the rules here. Under 22 players are eligible to play in all matches, maximum of 5 foreign players. Okay, maybe I don't need to worry about the homegrown at club player rules in the match squad. Maybe I'm fine. Oh, I've just realised that Yamazaki, who we've signed, the youth player, is going to be suspended to start the year. Lucas Freya, welcome back. That's awkward, isn't it? Asaro is leaving the club. He is joining Urawa Reds for 500k. For a player who was not even going to be on the bench this year, that is absurd. Thank you very much. And with that sale done, it does mean that Nanami is the last of the big deals currently ongoing. Still hoping that that £350,000 offer from Gamba Osaka is going to go through. Originally, I thought we were only going to get $250,000 for this guy. To get more than that is absurd. I've had some offers for Kanishi here. Now, Kanishi's been unhappy at the club. I actually wanted to demote him down to the B team and he kicked up a stink. He's another player who I just don't think is ever going to be good enough for our team. We signed him on a free transfer a couple of years ago. A couple of offers here of £250,000. I do not mind if I do. He was unhappy at the club. He's tried to force a move. I've not even really acknowledged it in today's episode. It's just been going on in the bits between where I talk, but I guess we'll dump him down in the B team and get some money for him. Also, there were a couple of players with contracts expiring, including, I realise, Kenichi, whose contract I've just triggered an extension on. As far as I'm aware, that hasn't cancelled the transfer bids. In my head, that's the reason why the bid is as big as it is, because of that contract extension. Elsewhere, just a few players like Fikatsu, who's a useful squad depth option, just getting an extra year slapped on their contract. Got all these free agents being scouted. There's a few of these players like Tiger Hatter here who would be absolutely quality. I'd love to bring this guy in to be a bit of depth at left back, but can also play right back. But he just has no interest in talking to me, which is sad because actually when you look at his overall ability, I don't feel like he's that much better than our current players. The season starts in 6 days. I feel like I was in this situation last year where I had a team blocked out. A load of the players weren't available to start the year, but I kind of just decided to trust the depth of the squad. And I'll be honest, there's part of me edging towards that line of thinking. Like, our bench isn't awful if we need to call upon a few players here. Centre-back is definitely a concern just because Manga is our starting centre-back. And then I think our next best centre-back in terms of the backup that would come in would be Sakaguchi, who's also out to start the year. So who would start at centre-back is maybe an issue. In fact, it probably is the biggest issue right now. But I don't know. Besides that, I just don't. There's just not players out there worth signing. That is my issue. All the players who are Japanese who were released by J1 clubs who would probably get into my team but weren't playing for those J1 teams last year, they just don't want to play for me. And that's just kind of an issue. Like Matsuki here, I know he's got some issues with injuries, but his consistency in important matches are really, really good. If we could keep him fit, he could be amazing. Now, granted, he sprained his ankle ligaments 6 times so far, but as a freebie, I'd really happily take a punt on him once he wants to join us, but he doesn't want to join me right now. And then the question becomes, well, is it worth right now just gambling a little bit, perhaps, signing an alternative centre mid option who's not as good and then just not being able to afford Matsuki later? Or do I just save my pennies? Do I put faith in the team that's got me up that it can do the step yet again? We've added Diouf, we've added Delacorte, we've added a bit of quality at the back, which I think was needed going into J1. When Yamazaki's fit, he's going to be a quality creative option. Oh, I feel like I'm talking myself into just sitting here, sitting on my hands and not doing anything, which just doesn't feel like the right play. But on the flip side, there's just not options out there. Like, De Silva here is an Argentine player who's rated really highly. Is it mad that I don't feel like he's that good? Like, and he's considered one of the better options I could get. Shoji here plays for Ventfore Kofu. I mean, he is a decent little striking options, but of all the positions in the team, a striker is not what I need. Hinakio, 28 years old, is very, very highly rated by my staff. He didn't want to talk to me before. Still doesn't want to talk to me. The injury proneness means I don't love him either. And then there's just Addo, who I've had scouted for ages, and I don't feel like he's that good. I'm very underwhelmed by Addo. At this point, I almost feel like rather than looking for starters, maybe my best bet is to start looking at players in the national team who maybe I could sign. I mean, someone like Mino would be great to sign. He's never going to leave John Book to join us. I feel like I did this last episode and already came to the conclusion that none of these players would want to join me. But I'm still going to scout them anyway. I mean, this bloke's on £9,000 a week. I can't afford that, can I? Even this guy, right, he plays for the Japan under-23s, 20 years old, plays for Tokyo FC, who were relegated down to J2 from J1. He has no interest in joining me. He's a backup at his current club in the division below us. It's wild. I'm actually curious, if we just list clubs by reputation, where are we on this list? We are down here. We literally have a reputation lower than Omori Yamada High School. That's quite sobering, isn't it? And if you're wondering, Jack, did the scouts find a left back or a defensive mid? The answer's no. No, they didn't. I'm a bit disappointed, really, because I know that there's going to be a gap to the next video. I wanted to leave you guys with some big bombastic thing going on. Speaking of which, this is big and bombastic. We've just had a bid of 425k for Nanami. I mean, I'm absolutely accepting that. Sorry to the teams who offered 350k. Yeah, that 425k, I absolutely have to take. Okay, so before I was really interrupted, given the fact I know I'm going away to the Football Manager World Cup, I'm going to be competing, playing in Liverpool. I'm away for the week, but streaming a load of Football Manager because I stream my point of view. I wanted to leave us with like some big bombastic signing to be excited about when we get back. Instead, I feel like the hook that I have for you, the exciting edge that I want to leave you with to make you excited for when this returns is that we've not really added anyone and it's going to be really difficult. Maybe that's more of a hook than just signing a good player. Suzuki, by the way, the striker I was looking to sign, has gone to Raise Sol on £8,500. He has joined a team in the division below us, turning down a move to us. He's earning almost 3 times more than my highest earner. Tell you what, though, in J1, we are going to make absolute bank. We are going to have so much money coming in versus our expenditure. So that's good, I guess. Just have to stay up. Okay, Ataki's leaving the club for 90k. Nanami's leaving for 425k. We've made so much money in sales. It just makes me sad that there's no one actually worth the money I have in the bank that I could sign that isn't just an absolute massive rip-off and a terrible deal for us. I mean, we've now got £5 million in the bank. I think this is close to the richest we've ever been. We've got £2 million in transfer budget. We've made £1.4 million in sales. I've made 94k. We're a newly promoted team. None of this makes any sense. We've hit the point now where I'm just looking through agent offers on random players who, I'll be honest, they're quite good, but they're just not really in positions I need. I don't need a left midfielder. Woo Hyun here is actually a pretty decent little centre mid option that was offered to me. Why was he offered to me? Oh, it was in the scout reports when I was looking at defensive mids. I mean, he's 20 years old. He's got a cap for South Korea. Does he even want to join us? No, he'd be interested in a loan move. I don't feel like he adds sufficient quality to be worth loaning in. I'd rather give game time to a player who I don't think is a million miles away from his level into someone like Sakaki, see Sakaki develop versus just developing someone else's player for them. I mean, if there's some good news, Matsumoto Yamaga, we played in the very first game of the year, are predicted to be down there towards the bottom of the table. They are the favourites for this upcoming game. And if you're wondering, Jack, have the promotion odds changed? Since you've come up, are you any better off? No, we're still predicted to be second bottom. Oh, it just gets worse. Sasaki is now injured to start the year, out for 3 to 4 weeks. You couldn't make it. You literally could. This is awful. What an awful day. I mean, the J1 season is now kicking off. There is a game happening right now between F. Marinos and Sanfrecce Hiroshima. The only silver lining is I have money to spend. So if players do start to lower their demands, the free agents that don't want to talk to me right now, or maybe some new players my scouts just spot, like we can actually make something happen. Until then, though, I'm just going to continue selling B team players and making a load of money and hoping that with the current first team we've got, we can survive. We start the season in 2 hours. And when you look at the players available for the first game, slightly depleted. I can't believe I'm saying this. Yoshida probably starts the season at centre-back. God help us. And elsewhere, I need a right-back. It's a battle between Murata and Mitsuhashi. Mitsuhashi has to get the nod. Mitsuhashi will be starting the first game of the J1 season at right-back. And if you're wondering, Jack, why are you sorting out your team now? You've just mentioned the fact that there's not going to be the start of the season for about a week. I'll be honest, I just feel like I should sort it out now whilst it's fresh in my memory. Otherwise, I'm going to come back and not remember what I was meant to be doing when I return after the Football Manager World Cup. I feel like this is our team to start the new season with the injuries and suspensions. It's perhaps worse than the team that started last year. I know there's going to be the comment saying, Jack, just spend money. I don't want to spend money for the sake of it. And as you've kind of seen, there's just not players out there that are the quality I need that want to sign for me for wages that we can afford. The players that have the quality just know that we don't have the financial muscle and don't want to talk to us. And rather than sign players for the sake of it, when I look at our players and I look at the abundance of potential we've got, I'd rather just try and develop these players that we've got, have a good old slog in J1 this year, hopefully stay up and build off that. That, to me, feels just like the more sensible thing. I feel like we've got enough about us to stay up. Now, like I mentioned at the start, and I have mentioned throughout, there is going to be a gap until the next video. I am sorry for that. I did weigh up the possibility of pre-recording basically the entire J1 season, but I'll be honest, it's not that enjoyable pre-recording a load of videos. The energy would be low in them because they're recorded back to back to back. And on top of that, it kind of somewhat loses the magic of that first season in the top division. If I've pre-recorded it all, I like to be able to react to comments and all the daily interaction as stuff happens, and again, that is lost. Like I said, the Football Manager World Cup's going on this week. There will not be videos the rest of this week, nor the start of the next week, but I will be live on Twitch on the regular. As I said earlier, there'll be a link at the top of the description. If you enjoy Football Manager, if you want to catch some more content that is going to be a little bit different to this, yeah, check it out. It should be a good time. Anyway, hopefully I see you guys in a little over a week for the return of Tokyo 23. I appreciate your patience. Hopefully you understand the circumstances that dictate the fact there is going to be a gap in the videos. No, it's less than ideal. I know a lot of you guys love this series. Don't worry, it will be back upon my return. If you've enjoyed today's episode, go down below, leave a like. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. And until next time, it's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.